freeze. Stop you in your tracks, there's not no preseason. We seeking W's like Tupac used to throw up. Forget it, might as well forfeit. Your team shouldn't even show up. What you wanna be when you grow up? They used to ask me. Naturally, I chose an athlete. Competition never matched me. We ain't go together like camouflage and polka dots. Focus on your position, just know your spot. Sure, don't stop, it's a long season. They planning on winning for the wrong reasons. Trying to get my number retired. Can't let these frauds beat us. I figured out the recipe. Never let opponents get the best of me. I'm focused on my legacy.
I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah. The beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
Y'all already know what time it is, huh? Playing skills, you did, huh?
Playing skills.
Ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, hole on the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, hole on the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, hole on the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, hole on the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, I get the money but I never switch. They saying you switch it, you won't get it. You know they came from the bottom and now we is lit. You was lit, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. You hating cause I on the wrist. My bitch, you wanna be famous, They act like they made us, You know I'm icy in Vegas, This for the that hate us, I make a lot of new money, When the not savers, You be liking my flavor, I think it's cause ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, all on the wrist. Watch out for this, I never switch, I never switch.
And thank you, Coach. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee. And that's the 25-yard line.
Here we go. Check 55 for Mike. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. Watch twist, watch twist, watch twist.
Here's the former number 2 pick, the Pro Bowler Saquon Barkley. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First down, Giants on a pickup of 14.
It's a gain of 14 yards. That's good.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup. Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
On second down, here's Barkley. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down. Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17, following the 2 negative plays.
Switch gears. Begin. Check 13. Check.
Jackson from the shotgun. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The sack by Ronald Darby coming from the corner.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Not good at all. Punt of just 24 yards there. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Murray now on 1st down. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. When the rookie QB gets his first touchdown pass, that's one you put in the trophy case. First career interception, that's going to be one he wants to forget.
Yeah, and he's not going to go ask for the football, right? Yeah, you can keep that one. The key for him, what does he learn from it? When he watches the tape, does he have an answer right now where he already understands what mistake he made? That's what the coaches are going to want to know, and that's what they'll grill him on and see how he grows from it.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
I'm here all day. Switch. Pick the edge.
The toss out to Barkley. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
No surprise there, Jadeveon Clowney with a tackle for loss. We all know how he became one of the most famous players in football, though, don't we remember?
Oh, that one play.
Yeah, that one big-time play. It was on highlights everywhere. They want to see more of that here in the NFL.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Flushed out right. And going deep for Hill. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
How about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said
Julio Jones all alone. Touchdown, Vikings. Julio Jones, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Now Matt Prater for the point after. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead.
Next to score, Vikings 7, Giants 0.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
The Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
He can't hang. He's not going to get me. Tighten up.
Now Saquon Barkley. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
Under 10, under 10, 10. No, off.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. 13 yards, good for a Giant 1st down.
1st down. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
Watch it, you find. SOS. Six guys. Check 6 guys.
A 1st down carry for Barkley. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Ready to roll for the 2nd quarter from MetLife Stadium. The Giants with the football, as they've got it with a 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, Kamara. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
Brings up 3rd down and 9.
The Giants on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
He's crashing. He's checking crash. Slam. Showing it.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And that will be incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. Third downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
First down.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. From the gun, a run for Johnson. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
It's a gain of 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Fake handoff to Johnson. Now here's Murray. He completes it to Jones. And they move this all the way down to the 9. A big pickup of 38. Well, one thing's for sure. They're going to have to come up with something at halftime because he is absolutely roasting them right now.
They're going to go through the whole litany of things, changing coverages, what are we going to do to put a man on him? The big thing to me is treat it like a good pitcher treats pitching a game. Change your timing, change your location. So sometimes you're up on him, sometimes you're back. Just change up the looks that he sees and make him just a little bit more hesitant.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Now Johnson. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Tight end's right.
Murray now, 3rd and goal. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Julio Jones with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. And there's going to be a stoppage here. The booth wants to take another look at this potential touchdown.
Touchdown, Minnesota.
Now Prater to add the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0.
Next the score, Vikings 14, Giants 0.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Check, check. Let it go.
After the penalty, they go with Barkley. He fights forward for a couple with a penalty flag down. And the linemen, they're already walking back. You need your wide receivers as blockers. Sometimes they get a hold.
The big runs are often a result of what they do on the perimeter. In this case, got caught holding, and this one will come back.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. Throwing on second and long. Jackson nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. After the sack, they'll come up now third and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Check three, check three. Check. He's coming. Double up. He's coming, double up. Bang, 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 bang.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. Only 2 on the screen pass there, and it'll be fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
On is the punter, Hecker, as he gets this one away. 35 yards that time on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. A first half update now from Philadelphia. And that's now a 2-touchdown game as the Eagles have scored again. Drew Brees, a single touchdown pass to this point in that one. To throw, it's Murray. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked. But instead, they'll keep it on second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Deep ball for Goodwin. He's got it at the 15. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. 36 yards on the play. From the red zone, here's the Heisman Trophy winner, Murray. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
And when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Murray again, 2nd and 10. And he's got it. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Julio Jones. As the first half is winding down, and the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. And after the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. The former first-round pick, Kareem Jackson, there defensively. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. To throw is Jackson, eluding the pressure right. Now he'll go deep down the middle. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devin White brings him down, and that's a play he's going to remember. The first sack of his NFL career. 5 in the secondary now for the Giants here on 3rd. Murray with a 3rd and long. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discuss.
And that's going to be intercepted. The all-pro corner, Patrick Peterson. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Mike, 45. Coming, baby. I'm coming, baby. Woo!
From the 39, Murray. Deep ball for Goodwin. That's going to be caught. Touchdown, Vikings. Marquise Goodwin, his first touchdown on the year. And the interception by the Vikings D leads to a touchdown. Prater for the extra point, and it is 28-0.
Makes the score Vikings 28, Giants nothing. Matt Prater is set to
And after the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
The Giants take over first and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we...
And that is intercepted by the Pro Bowl corner, Darius Slay. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Murray. Caught by Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 17 yards, first down, Vikings.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Murray now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. Murray now on 1st down. David Johnson here on the catch. And he's got this down to the 35. He'll get 15 and a Vikings 1st down.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Murray now. 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. On play action, it's Murray. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
I know exactly why I tried to throw the ball to Julio Jones there. He's never considered covered. He's either too fast or too strong. You always try and get it to him.
Especially on those deep passes. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Back to the air on 2nd down, it's Murray. He finds his man Johnson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 19.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
At the 13-yard line.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now Murray throwing on 2nd down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Von Miller able to record his 5th sack of the season. And he's on the heels of winning the NFC Defensive Player of the Week award. He had a pair of sacks in last week's game, Charles.
So much for adjusting, so much for game planning, right? You know that he had the 2 sacks last week. Why aren't you able to block him? Sometimes the superior athlete just wins.
They have 5 in the secondary now for the Giants on 3rd down. Throwing is Murray on 3rd down. It's caught. Jones. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. From 21 yards away. As his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this. They still ball. Y'all playing the wrong football.
They'll try and get this run game going. This is Barkley. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Brings up second and 11 at the 15-yard line.
Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike.
They'll go to Barkley again. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. The Giants on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Now it's Jackson. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th.
At their own 47-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. We you know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Murray looks to throw again. 2nd and 10. Man open. It's Goodwin. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking 1st down.
Let's go. Let's do this.
And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
Murray now. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked out and incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free. They're still throwing the football here, and obviously the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Julio Jones. 29 yards as his guys continue to pour it on. And a pause in the action because the booth, they see something that they want to take another peek at to find out if this was a touchdown or not. Prater on to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
42.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
The Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Miles Jack there to make the tackle. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Check 26, check 26.
Here's Jackson. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense is well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Now Jackson. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Kill, turn up. Slam. Hey, look.
They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. Now this is incomplete. The Giants go on 4th but come up empty. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. Throwing on 1st down is Murray. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
His big day receiving just keeps getting bigger. He's over 200 yards now on the afternoon. The 3 red zone trips, 3 touchdowns so far. They'll look for a 4th on 2nd and goal.
Hey. Short. Three down.
Murray now on 1st down. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Khalil Mack able to record his 5th sack of the season.
On any 1st and goal, the real estate to work with for the offense is really cut down, and the defense knows it. So they often bring heat and pressure, which they did on this play. Got him down for a loss. Not a big one, but any loss of yardage in this position is tough for an offense.
They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey, and he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Jackson escaping the pressure right. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that's going to be intercepted. Jamal Adams with it, the all-pro safety. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. It's a pick six and a Giants touchdown. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell and just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. They stay on the ground on first with Johnson, fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Back to throw it, Murray. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Julio Jones, his Pro Bowl receiver. 3rd down here.
Now, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turned into a nice play.
Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down.
Check Mike 45. Check Mike 45. Quit talking about it and bring it on.
From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They're going for it. It's Murray. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Ed Oliver. And the Giants are going to get the football back. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the 4th, but they didn't get it.
Guaranteed it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there. And I know if we go to the postgame press conferences, the winning coach, you know what he's going to say, why he did it? We need the points, okay? Because you never know at the end of the year if points are going to come into the tiebreaker if we're trying to get into the playoffs. That's always the standard justification.
The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Here we go, D. Get off the field.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Kamara. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Rush in. Watch the safety creep.
They'll run on first down. Barkley. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining.
Switch. Pick the edge.
And now Jackson will look to throw it. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. DeAndre Hopkins, the Pro Bowler, the intended receiver. But now it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Check. Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike. Hot seven. Because I'm about to take you to school, right?
On third down, Barkley. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Vikings, their strong September has carried over to October as they move to 5-0. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Giants, the loss will move them back to 3-2 on the year. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.